Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Sarah. I am an artist and I make fiber notions for like little stitch markers for your knitting and your crocheting, etc. And then I like to knit, and we'll show that here on YouTube. So today I have a projects video to show you all the things I'm working on and the whole one thing I have finished in December. So that makes today a projects video. Now, I do want to do a 2024 makes video, but I do not plan on showing you everything I made. My plan is to show like my favorites, my least favorites, my most worn, the things I'm most proud of, that sort of thing. I have not recorded that yet. And part of me was like, everybody's putting out these videos. And I'm like, hold on. Just because they're doing it doesn't mean you need to rush and panic and put it out or not put it out because it's too late. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. It's only the first week of January. Like, let's just calm down a smidge. So I will be putting out a video like that, but it may be a week or two from now, just because, well, I'm not in any hurry. Everybody else is, but I'm not. So we're just going on casual time over here. Then I also want to do a 2025 like goals video, not a like here are all the patterns I'm going to make, because that's not how I roll. I like will see a pattern and think, oh, that's beautiful, I'm gonna make that, and then I see something else I like more, so I'll make that instead. So rather than like, oh, here are all of the patterns I'm gonna make, I'm gonna kind of go through like how I want my making to look like, and then like holes I want to fill in my wardrobe, that sort of thing. So that'll come at some point as well. Also, if you watched my festive vlogs, thank you very much. I did like weekly vlogs through the month of December. Yeah, they're not my most popular videos by any means, and that's okay. I just enjoy filming them and putting them out in December. I think it's fun. Just so you know, I put all the things I talk about down in the description box below. I do not put links just because there seems to be like, you know, some people who prefer the website, some people who prefer Ravelry. Rather than doing any of that, I just put the name of like the designer or the type of yarn and the patterns, etc. And then you can take that information from there and use whatever search engine you prefer, whether that be Ravelry or Google or Instagram, etc. But oh my goodness, why don't we go ahead and just dive into all of the things. There's so many nitty and yarny things surrounding me. The first thing I have to show you is my finished item, and it is my Calm Down Cardigan by Lily Kate Makes on Instagram, or Lily Kate France on Ravelry. And here it is. I have lots to say. Okay. First, let me tell you about the yarn. I use Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the color chestnut, and I used my resin buttons. These are resin buttons that I have poured. They like mimic like a tortoise shell look. And I do not have any of these currently in stock, but I do plan on making buttons in the near future, so keep your eye out for that. If you want to, you can sign up for my newsletter, plug, and you'll get updates, as well as you can follow me on Instagram, etc. So that's the yarn. Those are the buttons. The pattern was great to follow. The pattern was clear. It was good. I have no complaints about the pattern, but I did not enjoy this at all. So I started this cardigan middle-ish of September, and I was like determined, like this cardigan is not going to take me 3 months like most of my other garments have taken me, if not longer, some of them. I was like, I'm going to finish this in like a month or two, and I didn't finish it until like middle-ish end of December. I don't know why. I did not enjoy knitting this. No fault of the pattern, no fault of the yarn. I just wasn't feeling it. I can't explain why. If I'm being honest, I cannot explain it. But everything went smoothly. It's just I'd pick it up and wasn't inspired, even though I really, really wanted the finished item. That was the main reason I kept plugging along. I really wanted a brown cardigan for quite a while, a couple of years now. So I was like, hey, I've got to make this cardigan work. Like, I've got to finish this thing. So I did. I like the way it fits. I modified it to be a little bit more cropped than the pattern actually calls for. I am pretty much bang on gauge. I did have to go up a needle size. I knit mine out of a 4.5 millimeter needle. Yes, that is what I used. And then what else? I don't think I made any other modifications. I did do the 3 buttons technically, but because I shortened the length, there is supposed to be like this little like V opening type thing. Like there's 3 buttons and then like a gap with no buttons, and it kind of like flaps open. I didn't want that, so it was either going to be I knit it longer and have a 4th button, or I like shorten it. And I decided I wanted cropped because I've been wearing a lot of high-waisted things and I wanted something to hit me right about there. I didn't want something super long. So that's what I did, and I really like the fit of it. I have determined that this yarn is very much a woolly yarn that I cannot wear if it's even the teeniest bit warm. The moment it's a teeny bit warm, I feel all the prickles. However, when it is colder, I don't notice at all, like even a teeny bit. So I'm hoping with more and more wear, it will soften up a bit. But as of right now, it's prickly, and I don't particularly enjoy wearing it. I have worn it with a turtleneck, a long sleeve turtleneck, and I really liked that because of course it wasn't touching my skin at all. So that was nice. And then I've been wearing it more as a jacket. Yesterday I wore it out with a short sleeve, graphic tee, and I ran my errands, and it was like 45 degrees out, 44, something like that. I don't know, wasn't really paying attention, but it was chilly. And I wore just the cardigan over my t-shirt and was pretty comfortable. It was a little chilly when the breeze would kick up, but it kept me warm and I didn't feel the itch. So the yarn is a bit of a miss. I would have liked it to be a hair softer, but I have a feeling it's really going to hold up over time, being as it's like, you know, a more woolly wool. And I know it will soften up. I have like lots of people say, oh, like these woolly wools will soften up. So the more I wear it, the more I wash it, it should like soften up. And the drape is actually really nice. I was expecting to be very like stiff and rigid, but no, it's got really nice drape to it. Very much like it. So yeah, I am not madly in love with it, but I don't hate it. I'm feeling kind of all right about it. I love the color. Color is 10 out of 10. It's exactly what I'm enjoying wearing at the moment. I would give the yarn, you know, maybe a 6 out of 10. We'll see though. I may fall in love with it more. I will give you an update as I wear this more. But then let's see what else. The fit of it, I would give a 9 out of 10. I would maybe knit it just like a half an inch longer. I went a little too cropped, I think, but I could fix that in the future. Do I want to? No. So it'll stay its length because it fits just fine. It's just like a preference. I could knit this a hair longer and love it even more, but I'm not bothered by it enough. I also think I'm slightly tainted and feel kind of about it because I'm still so close to the knitting process, which I did not enjoy. So I think once I'm further removed from that knitting process, I'll enjoy it even more. It's just right now I'm feeling kind of because it was such a slog to get through for some unknown reason. But yeah, I really like the Calm Down cardigan. Would I make it again? Ask me that question again in like 6 months. All right, I have a lot of works in progress. I think what I'm gonna do is show you my active, like what I'm working on, what I'm aiming to finish projects right now, and then kind of go into some of the more dormant ones that I'm not in an enormous hurry to finish. The first one I am working on is my niece's sweater. She did not get it for Christmas. The plan was to give it to her for Christmas, but I did not finish it in time. I don't know why. I could knit a sleeve, one of these little sleeves, in like an hour. at most. So I'm not sure. I just kind of, I guess, lost steam on it. Also forgot about it. To be completely honest, I set it aside because like I had it out and then we were gonna have people over, so I stuffed it in a corner. Completely forgot about it. Was going through my gifts and like pulled out her little stuffed animal that I had bought her, and then I was like, this is all I bought her? Like, wait, hold on, wasn't I making her something? And then was like, oh yeah, I was working on a sweater that I forgot about. So then I started knitting on it and then I just didn't finish it. So yeah, there's this. I'm gonna set this out on my couch so I can start working on it and I can finish it in an evening, no problem. But it's a matter of putting it there so I remember to work on it. So this I would like to have finished this week, which should be no problem if I remember it. My next item is another sweater. We've got a few sweaters happening right now. This is my fuzzy, fluffy black raglan. It is not following a pattern. The baby sweater, by the way, is not following really a pattern either. But yeah, no pattern. I'm just winging a raglan. I am knitting it out of Holst Garn's Coast, which is a cotton wool blend, and then I am holding it with Drops Alpaca silk. So I'm holding 2 strands of the Coast base. I have a cone of it, and I'm still gonna have like another freaking sweaters quantity once I'm done with this sweater, because I've got this cone which has still got tons on it, and then I have a rather large cake happening right here, and I'm about halfway through the first sleeve, and yeah, I'll be able to knit this sweater plus probably another one, which is fine. I'm sure I can find another item to knit out of black yarn. But yeah, I am loving it so far. I tried it on last night. It was kind of hard to tell because I was wearing really baggy like sweatpants if I like the fit of it or not. So yeah, we'll have to see. As of right now, I'm really liking it. I mean, it's a basic raglan and it's black, so what's not to like? So yeah, not a whole lot to say about that, but I'm plugging away on it and I'm really enjoying knitting it. I am looking forward to being able to wear it. My next very active project is one you have not seen, because I decided spur of the moment in December I wanted to cast this on. I was like, I don't care that I've got other projects going. I don't care that I have more pressing knits to work on. I want to knit this. So I allowed myself to do that because, well, I'm the one knitting and I can do that. I am knitting a giant, chunky, long cardigan. It is impossible to show. It also is rolling up, so it looks like there's like no front to it. But I promise there is a front to it. It just wants to live curled up on itself because, well, that's what stockinette does. I'm not following a pattern. I know, I'm sorry. That's just how I roll around here. But it is a raglan. If you wanted something similar, I have Knit the Match Cardigan by Kadri, and you could use that as your base template and then just knit it longer. I am, however, changing, like I'm not doing the pockets like that. I'm not using like any of the math from the match either. I've changed some of the math and have included short row shaping, which the match does not have. But I have inset like pockets that are going to go sideways, which I'm very, very excited about. Now, if you've been around here for a while, I knit one of these at the beginning of 2024. Same yarn, different color, and like did like the inset pockets, but it wasn't long enough. So I ended up gifting that cardigan to my sister-in-law, who's a little bit shorter than me. So yeah, but I have these pockets going, and what I did, I'm gonna try and show this to the best of my ability. What I did was I got to the front and then I started working this back and forth. And then once I got to the length I wanted, I then picked up the stitches on the back panel, knit that back and forth, and then did the same on the other side. I then knit a short section back and forth until I had like 3 separate parts, and then I joined them all together, and now I'm continuing on with the body. I am thinking I want maybe 2 or 3 more inches of stockinette, and then I will do the ribbing, and then I'm going to do a shawl collar on this, a nice chunky shawl collar, which I'm still undecided. I don't know if I want to do ribbing or if I want to do garter. I'm kind of leaning towards garter because I think the garter will just look cleaner in like this bulky yarn versus a ribbing. I feel like ribbing sometimes in the bulky yarn doesn't always look the cleanest. We'll see how my ribbing at the hem goes, and I'll kind of make up my mind from there. The yarn I am using is Premier Serenity, and it's like their Tweedy base. This is the color cream. It's just 100% acrylic. It is nothing fancy, but I like the feel of it, and it was affordable. It was on sale. So here we go. I'm very excited to have this. I wanted something that I can kind of throw on in the morning that's like nice and chunky and cozy, almost like a robe. Something I can just cuddle up in on the couch while I drink my tea and watch the morning news. And yeah, I'm very excited about it. I would like to have this finished in a couple of weeks, which I think is very doable. Like, I have been making quite a bit of progress each time I knit on it. Like, I knit from this beautiful Hello Lavender stitch marker. I knit from there all the way here in one evening. It wasn't even like I spent all day knitting that. Like, that was an evening. The magic of knitting with bulky yarn. Been knitting with a lot of fingering weight this year and like light DK sport. So knitting with a bulky yarn is just magical how fast it goes. Though I have discovered I really prefer wearing the things that are made out of lighter yarns, but I think this, for like what purpose I'm wanting it for, is going to be so cozy and so good. All right, let's move on to things I'm working on, not quite as much, but still working on. All right, so the first thing I've been sort of ish off and on working on are my Christmas socks. I have 2 going here. These are being knit out of West Yorkshire. Okay, hold on with my Invisalign trace. This is very hard to say. West Yorkshire Spinners in Yuletide. It's a sparkly yarn. It looks absolutely fabulous. It's super funky and fun. I have finished the heel on both and have started the foot on one of them. You can't even tell because I like only did 1 round, but I have started the foot. I am very much looking forward to finishing these because I want to knit on other socks. My goal is to hopefully have these done in a week or 2. I would like, because I want to cast on some Valentine's Day socks. So I'd like to have these done so I can knit some Valentine's socks and maybe have those done by Valentine's Day. We'll see if that actually happens or not. I have thought maybe the Valentine's socks, maybe doing slightly shorter socks than I've been doing, because these legs on these are quite long. They're quite long. And like maybe doing a little color work, but we'll see. I don't know. I have to finish these first. So yeah, I'm working on these slowly but surely. Actually, I should leave these out. They live in my purse, so that when I'm out and about or in the car, I can knit on them. But I haven't been out and about much because, well, it was the holidays and then our family came down with all the crud, and so I haven't been out and about. However, the other day we were out and about and we were stuck doing unfun paperworky things that took forever, and I pulled out my sock and I had a teeny bit left on the heel. And did I pack the stripy yarn? No. So wasted a whole bunch of knitting time. Shame on me, but I was like, there's no way I'm getting any time. If you pack it, you don't have knitting time. If you don't pack it, you have knitting time. You're sitting around doing nothing. Murphy's Law. Anyhow, I want to finish those up. Those are fingering weight, by the way, 72 stitch no pattern. Let's move on to another pair of socks that I would have liked to have had for Christmas, but I didn't because I could not pay attention to the pattern for some reason. It's just knits and purls, but for some reason I couldn't focus and I kept screwing up. So I said, I'm done. I'm setting this aside for now. I'll gift them later. So I'm knitting some Flonkerton socks, a pattern by yours truly. It is a DK worsted weight pattern. I am knitting it out of Lion Brand Woolies. And these will be for my mom. And they're going to just be a midwinter gift. She obviously is not getting them for Christmas. And that's okay. It'll be fine. It'll be a fun little thing later on. But yeah, I am working on these. I'm pretty sure she probably knows about them by now. But yeah, Mom, they're coming. If you're watching, you'll get these at some point. But yeah, I'm very excited about them. After knitting them and seeing the color, I was like, ooh, these look nice. I want a pair for myself, but finish these for my mom, get those to her, and then I may end up with some leftover yarn because I have a whole nother ball of this gray. I may end up being able to knit myself a pair as well. But yeah, got to finish those for her. I'm not going to do a super duper long leg on them. Maybe just like an inch more. Maybe 2 inches more. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm enjoying knitting that now that I've started again. I started again the other day and was like, I'm enjoying this. Where the other week, or the last month, I was not enjoying it. It was gonna make me rip my hair out. All right, we have one more sock project. This one has been set aside. The reason it's been set aside is because I'm trying to make a pattern for it. And well, I didn't have the brain space to write the pattern out, and I need to be writing the pattern as I'm working on it. It is a partially finished thing. I have one fully done sock. Let me show you. I'm pretty sure I've already shown this in a projects video, but I'll show it again. Here we go. Slouchy sock. Isn't it fabulous? So I'm knitting this out of Sewrella's sock base. It's like 75-25 sock yarn, I'm pretty sure. Wait, hold on, let me look at it. No, this is the 80-20 sock yarn. And this is the color Home. I have like this portion of the pattern written, but it's this part, the heel, I need to write up. I've never written this heel name for some reason always eludes me. I can never remember what this heel is called. Shadow wrap. I don't know why that name is so difficult to remember, but I have not written out instructions for shadow wrap heel before. So I just need to figure out my wording for that. And then the foot and the toe should be pretty straightforward and similar to a lot of the other patterns I have written before, but this is new. And I'm pretty sure I want the pattern to have the shadow wrap versus a heel flap, turn and gusset. So yeah, I have these on hold, and they're going to continue to live on hold for a little while longer just because I don't want to do math. Right now, I have a bunch of other things I'm working on and way more excited about. So I'm just setting those aside for now. Not in a hurry. I don't need the socks themselves. And it's not like I'm like, you know, an aspiring pattern designer, so it's not like I should be like trying to focus on the pattern writing. It's just like I felt like, oh, I'll write up a pattern for it. So I'm not in a hurry for that. But now, let me show you a project that I had sitting for a very long time and then I've decided to finally pull out again. The lighting is not the greatest today. We are in full-blown Pacific Northwest gray. It is the season of the gray, so it's just gloomy out. Not wet or rainy, just gray. Ugh. Anyways, ta-da! Look at my beautiful gloves. Aren't they so fabulous and messy and stringy? We've got cords, we've got needles, we've got ends, we've got stitch markers. It could not be a messier thing to look at. But I've started my gloves again. I started them around a year ago, and I finished one, and it was too small. So here I am again, trying again. And yeah, it's going slowly. Not because they take a long time. I finished like this in like a day and finish this in a day, but I just kind of like set it aside and forgot about it. So I've been doing that a lot lately with projects, setting aside and forgetting about them. But I have started putting short rows in this. So like our hand, you know, like has a shape to it, you know. It's not just straight up, because if you knit straight up, well then it's either going to be too high over here or like too short over here, which is the problem I had with my other one. I went like in between, and well, it was too tight and it wasn't comfortable. So I've added some short rows to accommodate for my hand shape. I've got it like, stop looking at my other finger. Short rows in here to create shape. Yeah. It's not my cleanest short rows. It's also a very like twisty 2-ply yarn. Like there's a lot of like ribbing ridges to it, so it's not like my cleanest looking like stockinette I've ever knit, but it's not bad. I feel like when it blocks, it'll be better. So yeah, not following a pattern, making it up, trying to like formulate a well-fitting glove. I just don't want to like buy a bunch of patterns to find one that fits. I'm sure there are good ones out there, but I just want to, I kind of want to figure it out on my own. I like figuring things out. So I want to figure out this glove thing. I think it's like a lot of fun to like problem solve and like figure out how to make fabric fit properly over these like moving, squiggly, long, scrawny things that like, you know, they're just like, you know, a sweater is like 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got a front, a back, and a couple of sleeves. And this, it's like there's so many things to take into consideration, not just like how it fits, but then how it's going to function. So yeah, I'm enjoying figuring that out, but I'm taking my time with it. I'm not in a huge hurry for them. I mean, I'd like to have them before winter is done, but I mean, winter technically just started. So I always like think, December is over, we're on our way to spring, and it's like, no, actually winter just started. So that's like a kind of work / dormant thing. It's not like I'm working on it constantly, but I am pulling it out every now and then to work on. Another item that is definitely more dormant is my nightshirt that I'm working on. It is being knit out of Lion Brand True Boo, which is a bamboo yarn. It is incredibly drapey. It is like so smooth. It has a nice weight to it. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I took it on our trip, and then like I wanted to work on this on our trip to have something simple, but like somewhat engaging with like the raglan shaping and not just a stockinette project in the round. So yeah, I am maybe halfway through my raglan increases. Maybe a little more than that. I think I may have a third more to go. I don't know. But it's going to be a V-neck raglan, and it's going to be a nightshirt because I have a bamboo one that I wore and I really like it. So yeah, I'm not in a hurry for this one though. I would like to have it for summer because I think it would be really nice to wear in the heat. So yeah, it's here. It's ish being worked on. I pulled it out the other day and put like 2 rows on it. So yeah, it's a very slow work in progress. All right, I just have one last thing that I'm working on. I love this project. It's probably my favorite project. Okay, I got a lot to grab though. Hold on. What have we got here? Okay, I have a few things to talk about with this project. It is my blanket project. I usually like to have one blanket working because I like blankets. I have a lot of blankets in my house, not just ones I've made, but like just blankets in general. I have a lot of them. Everyone in my family loves blankets though, so it's worth it. It makes sense that I make blankets. Now, blankets take me forever to knit, so it's not like have them coming out of my ears or anything. that day comes and, well, I can start giving them away or donating or something, but I don't make that many blankets. But I'm making a blanket and I'm making progress. So I'm doing strips of squares out of garter. This is my first strip. Here is my second strip. I've just finished my third, and it does not have its ends woven in because, well, I decided, I don't know why, to not weave in my ends as I went for this strip. But the third strip is done, and I have started the fourth. And as you can see, with the fourth one, here I am weaving in the ends as I go. I mean, except for the last two squares. But here we go. I'm loving this so much. How amazing is that gonna look? Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Last time I talked to you about it, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to join them. So, hold on, let me untangle all this first before I make a bigger mess for myself later on. Oh, I've already created a mess. Fabulous. Wonderful. Okay, you go over there. So between each of the squares is a little garter, white garter strip, and then in between each of the vertical strips will be a vertical, well, technically knit horizontally, but there will be a vertical white strip between each row. So, you know, I've got like, you know, this next beautiful row that would be paired up like that. Well, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to join this to this. I tried a few different methods, wasn't liking the look of it. At this point, I had decided I'm just going to sew them together. I have not tried that to see how it looks yet. But then a lovely viewer commented on one of them. Sorry, I don't remember what video or who you were, because that's how my brain rolls. But had mentioned picking up like on both strips, knitting some garter, and then doing like a 3-needle bind off like in the middle. Brilliant. So I tried that with a little itty bitty scrap guide. Now, the front looks perfect. It looks amazing. Look at that. It looks beautiful. Nice and like even. I like don't think you'll be able to tell, especially like when it's blocked. I don't think you'll be able to tell. However, that is the front side. The back side has a lovely little ridge because what I did was I ended each of the rows with a purl row and then did the 3-needle bind off. But when you do that, it almost creates 2 rows of stockinette. You can't tell on this side because it's like 2 purl rows, which blends in with the garter stitch. But on this side, it's pretty obvious. So I'm trying to decide if I mind the back end having a little knit strip or not. And I'm thinking I'm not gonna mind, because already the back side of the blanket has all these little purl bumps with the other yarn and has all of the ends woven in. So you can tell where the ends are woven in, and you can tell with the garter bumps. So I don't think I'm gonna mind having that little knit ridge, because as it is, honestly, I am that person when I lay a blanket on me, I'll purposely flip it so it's the right way, because I'm a little bit extra like that. So if I don't want to look at it, I'll just flip it over. And I think it'll work out just fine. And I think I'm going to enjoy doing that versus full-blown seaming, even though I'm still going to be using a needle to bind off. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think that's going to be the best way to go. And then the other thing I did with the blanket was I switched to a different needle, because this has been driving me crazy. So I decided I'm gonna get some straight needles, and like it was some short straight needles. Now I found I had some DPNs, 5mm. My other ones are 5mm. They're metal though, so I was like, I do tend to knit looser with metal needles. So I was like, well, let's give it a try. What have I got to lose? So I knit up to here using those fabulous little metal needles. I loved working with the short needles. It was way better. But I then held this up to one of these and was like, my squares are looking kind of small. Why? Small. Like, the needles are 5 millimeters and they're metal. Like, why is it coming out smaller? Like, I even checked the gauge on this. I had my little needle gauge and I stuck the needle through and was like, it's a 5 millimeter. Well, I held the needle up to the wood needle, and this 5 millimeter, like, needle is not a 5 millimeter. It is bigger. It's like a 5 and like 5.25 or something like that. So they don't match. It's fine. It's a blanket. I left those squares. I just kept on rolling. I just pulled out the wooden needles and we're just pretending that I never switched needles. So yeah, these needles lie. They are not 5 millimeters because I then held this up to another 5 millimeter I have and it matches. The other 5 millimeter fits through the little gauge hole, but this one does not. It's fine. It's slightly annoying, but whatever. If you want more info and stuff on the blanket, I actually have a video about all of my blanket knits and then my plans and all the things about that specific blanket project. So if you want more info, go check out that video. All right, so next thing is new yarn, which I am not planning on buying any yarn in the nearish future because I have like a good amount, which I'll talk about more in my 2025 plans video. But yeah, I don't really have any plans to buy any, mainly because my husband and I are kind of doing like a no-buy January, because we've recently had a really large, unexpected purchase we had to make, so we're just trying to not spend all of the things. But I did get some yarn for Christmas from Josh. He got me this lovely self-striping yarn from the Yarn Jar. It is a DK weight self-striping yarn. It is the color Vintage Christmas, and I love it. I cannot wait to knit some Christmas socks out of this. Let me show you a couple of things I have drawn / painted this last month, and then I'll kind of bleed into a little bit of work businessy things, and then I will share some books and shows and things at the end. But I have a couple I did digitally. I'll pop them on the screen here to show you just because it's easier than trying to show you my very bright screen. And like I said, the lighting is weird because it is the season that it is. But I drew this like ballerina in denim because I love denim. Hence my business name, Denim and Rain. So yeah, I threw her in some jeans for fun. And then I drew this fabulous lady also in denim. Not a whole lot to say about them. I'm just trying to do some more human studies to practice that. I do have some other things that I've drawn and sketched and painted, but they're work things. So I'm not going to show you because they're for upcoming products. So sorry about that. And then, okay, I finished this one. This lemon painting. My sister and I did a collaboration of like when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. She made some beautiful mugs, which she may still have some available. Don't quote me on it, but go check out Pennington Design Pottery. She made some amazing like lemon mugs. This mug, like how freaking cute is this? It's got all these little lemons, hand-built lemons on it. It's like a beautiful yellow inside. And then on the bottom it says, make lemonade. So we did that collaboration and I did this little painting for prints. And then I'm still working on this painting, but beautiful like cat sitting in a window. I haven't painted the cat yet. Yeah, there's that. And that's basically it that I can show you anyways. I have done a little bit more, but I can't show all of it. And then work stuff. What have I got coming? So my plan is to have some new stickers for 2025. I have had the ones I currently have for quite a while now. I haven't really made any new ones for a minute, except for like I had a Flock exclusive one. But other than that, I haven't really made any. So I'm excited to add some new designs to my lineup. And then I'm going to be doing a button collection. I'm hoping to have that in February, but don't quote me on that. My biggest recommendation for wanting to know what's up and coming is to follow me on Instagram and then subscribe to my newsletter. Though my newsletter, I don't usually send out upcoming things. It's usually, hey, today it's live sort of thing, because I don't like to inundate and send a bunch of emails. But I plan on having a button collection coming soon-ish. I am making new molds, new custom molds, new designs I have dreamed up. I've been dreaming these up for a year now, and I finally made it happen. I have like an old friend of ours who has a 3D printer, so he has 3D printed me up some designs that I'm currently making molds for. So excited. I really hope they turn out. Really hope they turn out. So I'm not going to share what they are just in case they don't turn out or it's not going to work, because I don't want you all to get excited over something that's not going to work. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really hoping, crossing fingers, toes, praying, and like really willing and wishing this to just turn out perfectly. And then I have a really awesome fun collection coming out in April that I'm just so beyond stoked for. I've started laying out all the different designs I want to work on, and I'm so excited for it. It's one that I'm hoping to have several people collaborating with me on. I'm so pumped. So yeah, all those worky things, keep your eye out. I'm looking forward to 2025 and what's upcoming. As far as what I've been watching and reading, my husband and I just finished watching Lost. He's watched it lots of times. This is my first time, well, this is my second time watching it, but it's been like 10 years, 8 years, since before my daughter was born, since I've watched it. So 10 years ago. I didn't remember hardly any of it. So that was fun. And then we just started watching, oh, what's it called? Give me a second. Let me pull it up because my brain can't remember stuff like this, like names of movies and actors and songs, and it can't. We just started watching the show, well, it's like a mini series, Under the Banner of Heaven on Hulu. We're only 2 episodes in, and we're really enjoying it. It's like murder, like detective, religious stuff. It's really interesting. And then I just finished listening to The Wheel of Time. I'm done. Oh my goodness. 14 books. It was quite the task. I started back in February of last year and off and on listened to that throughout the year. I mainly listen to books when I'm working or doing housework or making dinner. I like having things going all the time, like whether it's music or a podcast or just something, because it helps my brain engage a little bit better. I never thought audiobooks would be my thing. I thought I'd tune them out a bit, but it actually really helps me focus on work, which is great. Unless it's something I need to like be typing or writing or numbering. It's only like if I'm painting or pouring resin or, like I said, housework, mindless things. Like, it's a distraction to distract me from the fact that I'm doing boring things, and I love it. So I finished The Wheel of Time. No spoilers, but I loved it. There are things that I am still like, ugh, whatever about. Like, I'm not a huge fan of those things, but overall, I really enjoyed the series. I do still have the prequel to read, and I'm actually going to read that physically. We have the book, and it's a pretty small book compared to all the other ones. So I'm going to try and fit in some physical reading, which I don't get to do very often. So we'll see if that happens. If it's taking me too long, I'll just order the audiobook for it. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Now I'm looking forward to the next series. I have requested from the library. I use the Libby app to get free books from my library, but I am looking at The Shadow of the Gods by John, and I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, Gwynne or Gwaine. It's Gwyenne, but it's supposed to be like mythical and kind of Norse mythology from what I've read of a few reviews. Like, it kind of has a little bit of that in there, but it's a trilogy. So I'm looking forward to a little bit like something new, because I've been reading, like, I've been consuming this Wheel of Time thing for a whole year. Like, that's all I got in. I mean, except for like the occasional nonfiction or the occasional little lighthearted thing here or there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a new series. If you have any recommendations for ones, I really like fantasy, science fiction, I'm not a huge fan of smut. That's not really my thing. I'm more of the build up to that, and then once you get there, I'm like, so bored. Get it over with already, people. Like, let's get back to the story. That's where, like, I'm like, eh. But I really like lots of lore, lots of world building, that sort of thing. That's why I loved the Wheel of Time. There was a lot of, like, the world was just enormous. It was huge, and each one of, like, the countries, like, the culture was, like, really rich, and each one had its own personality, and just, like, the world was, like, really tight. It felt really well built. So that's why I really liked the Wheel of Time, and, like, the magic structure was really, like, cool and interesting. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Other than that, life is lifing. Yep, life is lifing. So I now need to go clean my house because I have people coming over and there are piles of laundry everywhere and a bunch of piles of knit things now. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year. If you aren't, hit the like and subscribe, you know, and then you can catch future videos like my next upcoming videos, my 2024 makes and my goals for the next year, etc. Anyways, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day and we will see you next time. Bye.